Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN. Happy New Year, everybody! And the PT is back.
Where else would I be? Of course, I can't miss this. It's a must-win game. It's like a playoff situation.
You know, Pete, I'm excited. I mean, I hear people talking. Are you going to be happy with just getting in, one and done? Do they have any chance of moving on? Here's what I'm excited about: the fact that this team was 2-5, and everybody was writing them off. Want to fire the coach, get rid of. Make some major changes. Is Jalen Hurts able? Is he going to be the guy? He's not the franchise guy. And here's the thing: the beauty about sports, the players, right? They circle the wagons, and it's us against them type of mentality, right?
Okay.
They believe in themselves, and if you're a true fan, you got to be happy with where the Eagles are.
When they played in Vegas, when they looked so bad against the Raiders, and had lost 28-22 to the Bucs, but remember that wasn't as close as it looked. That Tom Brady game when they lost 33-22 to the Raiders on October 24th. That to me was the low water mark. That was the point where I thought there's no way. I don't even trust it. Remember, I was sat here on the air with you screaming that I don't even trust them.
Oh, we wouldn't even play. I mean, at one point, we didn't even play the Eagles fight song.
That was pretty much after the Raiders, because I thought to myself, and I would have played it this morning. I apologize. As we were getting closer,
we still have time. We had two hours ahead of us, and we will play that song.
Good. Because as we were getting closer and closer, I realized like little minor detail things, like we weren't live on the StreamYard, which we are now. I realized that I had push this, push that. Listen, Billy, here's some numbers because I know you're a stats guy. The Eagles have won 3 consecutive games by 10 points or more for the first time since a 5-game streak in 2017. They're 15-8 in December and January regular season games dating back to 2017. And then the other stat about run the football, and of course, we're not sure who's going to run the football, but Eagles have run for at least 125 yards in 9 consecutive games for the 3rd time in franchise history, but the first time since 1949. 160 is your number, Billy. Remember that today. If they get 161 yards, that's a new franchise record.
Right.
Yes. Now,
and
Washington 8th against the run. I mean, I'm sorry. People are rubber stamping this game like Washington's not the same, and I'm not rubber stamping.
I'm not, and especially in the NFL, when you play it's the same team within 2 weeks of each other. It's tough to win back. It's tough to win back-to-back games.
I couldn't agree more
against the same team because like I heard Devontae Smith saying we got to change things up. We can't do the same things. Well, what's that mean? Was he sending the message they're going to be throwing the ball a lot?
Right. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, I sit there.
You look at his numbers. He's 95 or 92 yards away from passing Deshaun Jackson's rookie record.
Yes, which I think is awesome. I think he's poised to have a big game. I hope. I mean, I think the biggest thing, the biggest unknown about this to me is just at what level are you going to see from the Washington football team? And quite frankly, the Eagles have had some slow starts, haven't they? And slow starts in the last game against Washington. They were able to overcome that slow start, Billy. In this game, if they come out and they're on the road and they have a slow start, now I know it's not like it has nothing to do with like the home crowd or anything like that. Because I mean, come on, you and I both know there's going to be more Eagles fans down there.
Absolutely,
than Washington
should be sea green down there,
right? 100%. But they were down 10 points on December 21st against Washington, and then they came back to rush for 238 yards. And win 27-17. And I was at that game, and I watched that. I watched Jalen Hurts put the ball on the ground. I watched the interceptions. I watched all the dysfunctionality. To me, at home, I think you can overcome that, and with persistence. I think if they fall behind in this game, that's a whole different kettle of fish. That's a whole different.
Over the last 8 weeks, excuse me, over the last 8 weeks, the Eagles have. I mean, the combined record of the teams that they've played, I think it's like 18-26 or something.
Well, I mean, that's another thing too.
I mean, people are like, I understand. You got to beat the teams that are on the schedule, and a win in the NFL is a win. All right, I'm taking it. So I'm excited, but it's tempered.
I'm the same way. A win is a win, and it is tempered. I also think, though, that the quality of the people that they're playing, right? I mean, listen, they made all these quarterbacks look good, right? In the early part of the season, the guys that they've gone up against, including Jake Fromm, right? Jake from State Farm or whatever, right? I mean, the quality of the guys that they've gone up against has been much different, but I don't care. I mean, you still got to play the game, right? So to me, go out and do what you have to do, which is, play your brand of football. Did you see Jason Kelsey's speech?
No, you know what? I saw him do it, and I didn't click it on because I was pretty busy doing other stuff.
It is well worth your time.
Is it better than the Super Bowl speech?
It is equitable, if not on the same level. In fact,
can we play it? Let's play it then.
No. Are you kidding?
Why not?
It's littered with F-bombs and expletives. I mean, dude, do I have 20 minutes to clean that up? I mean, it has more F-bombs than I have chins. No way could I play that. I mean, come on. You got to be kidding me. I can't play that right now.
Jason Kelsey, he's a Hall of Fame center in my book, and I'll tell you why. Not only when he makes an initial block, how many times have we seen Jason Kelsey go off one block and go down and get another guy and another guy? Downfield blocking, and the blocks are important. They spring people. He's like, he doesn't give up.
He's the heart and soul of the team. He's played through injury this season. He will be in the Hall of Fame at some point. And the only part of his speech, and again, I can't play it because of all the expletives, but he did have a part where he said, in 2016, we were ready to give him up for a washing machine. He said that. He said an effing washing machine. Right. And that's the one part that everybody that's watched the speech was like, wait, what? Like, who was ever trying to get rid of Jason
I don't think
Kelsey?
we're trying to. I mean, everybody was worried about him that he was going to retire.
Well, I don't know if that's him just firing up the troops. I don't know if there's any legitimacy to that. I don't know, but it did raise my ears. Like, wait, what? They won the Super Bowl. Like, what? But that was after this. He's saying before they won the Super Bowl at a point in his career. But yeah, he went like. His parents didn't have a ton of money, okay? That's why he went to Cincinnati. They're from the Cleveland area. Right. That's why he went to Cincinnati. He walked on at Cincinnati. Right. So he had to pay his own freight to be at Cincinnati, but he wanted to play Division I football. He wasn't going to go to St. Ignatius or some private liberal college that played,
And by the way, speaking of Cincinnati, I mean, I Mike Carlin, who sits with us from time to time, he made it clear that he didn't think Cincinnati should have been in the playoffs, and I think even though they were getting dominated by Alabama, the score doesn't really indicate how lopsided that game was, but Cincinnati should have been in the Final Four.
Absolutely, they should have been in the Final Four.
Baylor or Notre Dame should have been in with one loss.
Dude, did you see what Notre Dame against? How are you going to fly?
Well, listen, no, I know Notre Dame. By the way, a lot of great games yesterday.
Yeah, there were great games, and Notre Dame was not one of them. Although when Notre Dame loses, I'm totally fine with that.
That's fine. I have no.
You are Catholic, so at least
I am not Catholic.
Well, then why do you care about that team?
Blue and gold, I guess.
Give me a break. The tradition. You're such a moron.
There's the fight song. Lord. The fight song.
Notre Dame is the Cowboys of college football.
Listen, there were some great football games. This whole bowl week was phenomenal.
Yeah,
it was great. The Tennessee-Purdue game, that was phenomenal.
You want to know what was not great?
What?
Rutgers getting their butt beat as they were like the last-second sub.
And, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't say that the NFL lost a couple of big names. And, of course, the biggest name was John Madden passing at 85 on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then Dan Reeves the other day.
So I haven't seen you. On Christmas Day, I was a little under the weather. So on
Betty White went.
99. Why don't you bring up Harry Reid? I mean, come on, just throw out everybody,
Right?
Look, on Christmas Day, I came downstairs and my girlfriend's son had come over to it's the holiday, right? He's going to watch TV and whatnot. Now, mind you, I'm coming downstairs at like 2:15. So I had set the DVR to record this Madden thing. I come down, he's watching the damn thing on TV. And I'm pissed, right? I said, hey, I'm DVRing that so we could watch it together. What does he do? He goes, well, why don't you just sit down and watch it right now? So I did. So, of course, I had to watch, if
it wasn't for you, I saw your tweet. I didn't even know it was. Completely forgot.
The replay.
Yeah, I saw your tweet and I watched, but I caught the second half of it. And very emotional. But there's the backdrop of our lives, our generation growing up listening to John Madden
and Pat Summerall.
Actually, I'm obviously a little older than you, Pete. I remember Brookshire and Pat Summerall.
Sure, I remember Brookie. I mean, he started that radio station in Philly, for God's sake.
Yes, he did.
The one who we will not say.
That's
but this is what I know, okay? Yes, Pat Summerall and John Madden were the soundtrack of my football life growing up. And yes, I may be younger than you, but I distinctly remember You Are Looking Live, and it was Brent Musburger and Irv Cross and Phyllis George and Jimmy the Greek. You and Jimmy the Greek have a lot in common. You both shoot your mouth off and get in trouble. But anyhow, that was a highly entertaining show like this is. So at the end of the day, that Madden thing touched me in ways I didn't expect. I mean, I watched it live and I enjoyed it. Then he passed, and that there were a lot of people, Billy, trying to make the connection that he passed, like they knew he was dying, and that's why they got it on.
Apparently, it was unexpected.
It was totally unexpected. Yeah. I mean, did you see Steve Mariucci?
No, I did not.
Steve Mariucci on the NFL Network. They interviewed him the day that Madden passed, and he cried, like live on the air. He cried, and you know what he said? He said, "I had lunch plans with Coach for this coming week."
Wow.
So, you're not going to make lunch plans with somebody if you think you're going to cry.
I just remember the Raiders teams of the 70s, Bolitnikoff,
Cliff
to the
post.
Dave Casper, George Atkinson, John Matuszak, Ted Hendricks. I remember him. I know those Raiders. I mean, of course, the Immaculate Reception.
Full disclosure. Did you write those down?
No, why?
Oh, it looked like you were reading those names off a piece of paper.
I remember the Raiders teams. I was a Chiefs fan growing up.
Ghost to the Post, and the other one was the Immaculate Reception, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. John Madden and the Raiders were like the Buffalo Bills. They were always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah, but
so they went out and kicked Minnesota's ass.
Look at some of the teams that they lost to. I mean, some
Yeah, they lost to Hall of Fame teams. But that Immaculate Reception, like as much as Steelers fans love to
Frenchie
put that in the lore,
Fuqua.
right? As much as they love that, think about how that affected John Madden.
Yeah, man. 10 years as a coach, he has the highest winning percentage of any coach
for 100
wins, 100 games.
Yeah, but
pretty impressive.
But he also fully admitted that he went and saw Lombardi speak one time, and Lombardi did like 6 hours on a jet sweep play. And when it got done, Lombardi's like, I don't know, or Madden's like, I don't know anything. Like, I'm a moron. I'm an idiot.
We got a great show lined up. Grayson in a few minutes. Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News and 97.3 ESPN.com. And then we'll talk with the fantasy football guru in the 11 o'clock hour and our good buddy Brad Quast, who's on his way down to the Baltimore game today.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Listen,
that's a big game for the
You know that I'm in both of my fantasy championships, including the 97-3 one. Yeah, I kicked your ass. That was 2 weeks ago. But I beat Josh last week. Yeah. But here's the thing. That's a big game with the Rams and the Ravens. So I got a lot of players going to that one.
The first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection, professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts that help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, the shortest center city, and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. My Winter Watchdog. You know that you've heard of the New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog. You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on a house, hours of time on the road. Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Or go to mywinterwatchdog.com. Give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, Debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. When we return, we'll talk with Scott Grayson. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, 97.3 ESPN, Pete Thompson. Pete, the Eagles at 8-7 are 61 as of right now. There's 61% chance of making the playoffs.
Just win, baby.
Just win, baby.
I'm going to use Al Davis. I mean, look, even Sirianni himself was like, listen, I got a buddy of mine. He knows I'm the coach of the Eagles. He texts me all the time. But if you do this, if you do this, if you do this, and this, and this. And Sirianni was like, they all start with winning, right? Like, that was his way to basically look. And you know what? I got to tell you something. As a media person, Nick Sirianni is a breath of fresh air, because I remember distinctly one time asking Andy Reid about the fact that the Eagles' playoff hopes were still alive after a big win at home late in the season. And I'm not a moron, Billy. I did know that there's no way that Andy was going to touch that. So I said, listen, coach, I know that you don't look at the playoff possibilities, but your players do. What were they saying in the locker room afterwards? And how do you think Andy Reid handled that?
Time's yours.
Temple tough, baby, or some crap like that.
All right, each and every Sunday during the season, we get a chance to talk to Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News. You can follow him on 973ESPN.com with Grayson's Grades, and catch him every Monday during the season with Mike Gill, the Sports Bash, for Grayson's Grades. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome in Scott Grayson. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, guys. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Scott Grayson. And Scotty, man, you were right on 37-10 last week. I think in the last 3 or 4 weeks you've been spotted.
Wait, what does he win?
Well, we'll have to get him something.
Maserati.
Right.
I'll have to talk to Michael Pileggi and say, Grayson's he's like 4 for 4 the last 4 weeks. So we got to get him a Maserati. Maybe
his Maserati would be the Maserati mom van version, though. Maserati for 8 kids.
No, he can use the Levante. They got extra room there for the kids.
We love you,
Grayson. Are you pumped up?
Yeah, man. How could you not be, right? I mean, they have a shot at clinching the playoffs, as you guys were talking about. And even if they don't, just winning today will all but get you a playoff spot with so many possibilities next week that would get you in. So for me, I think it's amazing the turnaround this team has made. I've been saying all season, I really want to see this young coaching staff and this young quarterback and a young wide receiver get some playoff experience, even if it's only one game. To me, this franchise is a lot better off if that happens, and we're going to get a lot closer to that today, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you get confidence. Look, so people, you get these naysayers, like, do you want to make the playoffs or not going anywhere? One and done, who cares? No, I'm not in that camp. I am psyched because I think getting into the playoffs and having that experience of coming through late in the season, I think bodes well for the future. It can only help.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at, and I've heard some people talk about this as well, not only for what you've got in terms of building experience with the guys here, but, players are not stupid from around the league. They're looking around. The ones that are free agents are looking at where I might possibly land. And if they hear Philadelphia come up in the mix and they look at this and they say, wow, look what that team did. Look what that coaching staff did. Make a couple calls to buddies on the team. I think you help get free agents when you do things like this team has done this season, especially guys, who like the style that they've had. I mean, you win the way that this team has won with the running game that has been so impressive week after week after week since the turnaround. I mean, this team was 2-5, and we're talking today about clinching a playoff berth. I mean, it's, it was remarkable. And we were all sailing them down the river at that point. Like, well, this season's done. They got to figure out what they're doing with their quarterback. And is this the right coach? I mean, crazy what's happened in season here. And it's, it's going to culminate potentially today in Washington.
Which is a perfect segue to what I was going to say next. I mean, look we were 2-5, and people are concerned about Sirianni moving forward as the coach. People were booing Jalen Reagor. Jalen Hurts is not the quarterback in the future. I mean, look at what's his face in Cleveland. What's his name? The quarterback. Oh my God, he's getting death threats.
Yeah,
right, death threats. Because he threw 4 interceptions.
Baker Mayfield.
That was my senior moment right there.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been fun to watch. Now, the big caveat to all of this is that they have not done it against a playoff caliber team. I mean,
Right.
all of these wins, virtually all of these wins, have come against teams that, frankly, they should have beaten. But if you're a team that beats the teams you should beat, and you're competitive with the teams maybe you're not supposed to beat, then you have a chance. And I think that's where this team is at this point. I would put them against any of the teams in the field right now, except for Green Bay, as saying they have a chance. And you get a ticket to the dance, you have a chance to do some things. You never know what's going to happen. This team believes in itself right now. I'm sure some of you guys have seen the clip of Jason Kelsey talking to the team.
Yeah.
Look, that guy is an all-time Eagle. I think in terms of, you look at and I'm not trying to draw too many comparisons to 2017, but the way that team believed in itself going on that Super Bowl run, I'm not saying this team can do that yet. Certainly not yet. But the way that team believed in itself and rallied around it to have that team chemistry, I see some of those similar comparisons with this group.
Scott Grayson's with us on the Maserati, the mainline hotline. Scott, first and foremost, I did see that clip. Billy had not. I told him about it, and he's like, "Oh, can we play that?" Not unless I can bleep everything out. Like,
if you remember Jason Kelsey's speech at the parade,
what was I thinking?
All right, magnify that by 10. All right, Grayson, it was great speech. It's just not something I can play on the radio without some editing work.
Right.
Let me ask you this, because you and Billy kind of touched into what my question was, Scott Grayson, and that is that about who do you give credit to for the turnaround? I mean, when he was planting flowers and talking about gardens, and in the beginning when he was playing rock, paper, scissors, nobody could stand this guy, this head coach. And then I saw Jeff Kerr put a tweet out, and his tweet was NFL rookie head coach records. Did you see this? In 2021, he had Urban Meyer 2-11 Fire, Dan Campbell 2-12-1 Lions, Robert Saleh 4-11 Jets, David Culley 4-11 Texans, Arthur Smith 7-8 Falcons, Brandon Staley 8-7 Chargers, Nick Sirianni. I mean, he's right at the top of the list. What else does the guy have to do to get? He's like Rodney Dangerfield, no respect. Well, what does he have to do?
Yeah, I think he's gaining respect. I mean, I've heard some people say that if the Eagles get into the playoffs, which again could happen today, that Nick Sirianni needs to be considered as coach of the year. He's not going to get it, but I kind of agree with that sentiment to a point. Again, this team was 2-5. I was talking with you guys about worrying if this guy has lost the locker room. What are you going to do with these veterans who are hearing this talk about plants growing and, like you said, Pete, the rock, paper, scissors, and they're 2-5 when they look up? Like, that stuff's fine when you're winning, but when you're not, it's like, well, what are we doing here? And I was afraid he'd lose the locker room. I really was. And this team is stronger than ever. They've really come together. They've bought into what he's selling. I mean, you mentioned those guys and those names. Just look around the division. Like, here's a little game to play. Which of the coaches in this division would you rather have than Nick Sirianni? Don't give me Joe Judge. I mean, that guy, I'm surprised the Giants are doing everybody a favor by keeping him. Mike McCarthy is an idiot in Dallas. That team's won despite him.
Yeah, but he'll do whatever Jerry says.
I like the way Ron Rivera coaches, and unfortunately, that's the guy you're going up against today. But he's the only one I would consider potentially taking in front of Sirianni. I like what he's done here. I think he's building a foundation at this point. And let's see how this season finishes out.
Well, since you brought up Ron Rivera and the Washington football team, let's talk a little turkey then about today's game and the matchup and all that before we let you go. I did see some things, let's see here, like Bradley got in a car accident. Sean Bradley, is that really going to change anything? Jalen Hurts hasn't run as much since his ankle injury, but is that ankle getting better? Lane Johnson becoming the best version of himself. No Antonio Gibson, who was on my fantasy team, and I made my adjustment already. But what about no Jordan Howard? Is that a possibility? I mean, there's so many plot lines going into this matchup. What's jumping out at you at 10:30, an hour before we find out actually who the inactives are?
Well, the biggest things to me are, look, Washington's going to have Taylor Heineke. Okay. They didn't when they played on that Tuesday night back here in Philadelphia. That already makes them a little better. Not having Gibson, though, is huge. That is huge in my opinion. He's one of the best weapons that Washington has. So not having him is certainly going to hurt them. When you look at, Lane Johnson, you mentioned him, Pete. Lane Johnson is playing with a huge chip on his shoulder. That man is mad that he did not get selected to the Pro Bowl. I think he's got a huge legitimate gripe. Look, he's now caught a touchdown pass, which is amazing in his NFL career.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You look at Jordan Howard, what you mentioned. I think we will see Jordan Howard today. I think he will be there in a limited role, but he will be used. You mentioned Jalen Hurts with that ankle. We've seen that he is not the same quarterback the last couple of weeks, but let's take that as a positive. What I've seen is that he's learning to be a better pocket passer and a better quarterback behind the line of scrimmage and not looking to run right away. I'm seeing him work through a couple of progressions. That, I think, has been a good thing. Now, by the time the playoffs roll around, you want that ankle back healthy and you want him having his full arsenal of weapons. But there's that. You talked about what is one other thing you mentioned? Bradley. That's, to me, that's something worth watching, because what Bradley has been is solid on special teams for you.
Yeah.
So losing him there definitely hurts in that regard, and is worth watching what happens on special teams without him there. But look, Washington's got some other guys they've got some issues with that are out of this game for various reasons that the Eagles can take advantage of. So in my opinion, I think this is the Eagles game for sure to win. I really don't see it ending as a close game.
And this is why you're a professional. I did, since I knew I only had one more question, put about 8 things in the pot, and then you remembered each of the 8. So nice job by you, Billy. He mentioned that he doesn't see Washington winning. I think this is a natural segue to, okay, Scott, what's your prediction?
Well, no, I don't want to get there yet, but I do want to point out one thing. You're talking about who do you credit? But I think the defense, it's good to point out that they've had 9 games where they have allowed less than 18 or fewer points. And I think the linebacker play, I've been very critical of Singleton, and TJ Edwards has really stepped up over the last 8 games, I would say, and it's solidified. The defensive secondary has been playing a much better. And there was a story in the Daily News this week that Gannon doesn't look at stats, but the bottom line is this defense has played well, albeit against teams that aren't as good as the front end of the schedule. But guess what? You play the teams you play, right?
You do, and you face the quarterbacks you face, and that's been the one thing that the biggest question mark for me that with this team going into the playoffs is they have not done well against quarterbacks with any kind of name this season, and I am not sold that Jonathan Gannon will be able to do the job against that. Now, I've been hard on this guy all season long. I have also complimented him that it certainly looks to me like he has listened to some of his veteran players who've gone to him to say, hey, we can do this, we can do that. Fletcher Cox looks rejuvenated to me. Well, why?
Yeah.
I think Fletcher Cox went and said, I can do this better. Let me do this. Let me do X, Y, and Z. And I think Gannon's letting him, and we're seeing a little bit of the benefit of that. Cox is certainly fired up lately, and that's been good for this defense. Darius Slay has been playing well in the second half of the season. I think that's because he said to Gannon, let me do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
and
I agree
he's
with
been
that,
allowed to do that. So, but my biggest question about Gannon's the one guy I need to see more from. And you say, please look at something, look at stats, look at anything that's going to help you decide to not play passive against some of these teams you're going to face, potentially in the first round of the playoffs. Please don't play passive is my plea to Jonathan Gannon, because this defense, when it plays aggressive, is a lot more fun to watch.
We're talking with Scott Grayson, Fox 29 News sports anchor. You can follow him every Sunday night, Sports Sunday, on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter at @SGrayson, Fox 29. And, of course, you catch him every Monday with Mike Gill for Grayson's Grades on the Sports Bash. We're at that time now, Grayson, where we got to get your prediction. You've done really well over the last 4 weeks. Let's see if we can continue this streak, if you will. Last week, you had the Eagles winning 37-10. What say you this week, Scott?
Yeah, and if Boston Scott didn't fumble that ball, it might have hit it right on the nose.
Right.
This week I see that this game. I think it's really hard to beat a team twice in the same season, let alone in less than 2 weeks. But I think that they will do that today. I just don't see Washington giving up much of a fight. Look, they were throwing fists at each other last week in the Dallas game on their own sideline. So,
Billy and Bobby do that all the time. So, I mean,
to me, I think that if you get up on these guys, they're going to give up right away. And they're just going to be starting to think about that off-season trip that the wife's already starting to plan out. So I just think that this is going to be the Eagles winning. And I look at a score. I'm going to go 34-13 today.
Ooh, there he is. I love it. 34-14. And listen, man, going to be glued to the set. Everybody's going to be watching intently to see how Jalen Hurts plays. Obviously, no Miles Sanders today because of a broken wrist. But Devontae Smith, 92 more yards to pass Deshaun Jackson's rookie record.
Yeah, that guy's been a lot of fun to watch. I think it was a good first-round pick by the Eagles and Howie Roseman. And, looking ahead, and I know you guys got to get going, but you look ahead, and I want to see them put somebody opposite him through free agency this year. I think if the Eagles can do that, this offense can take some big steps forward.
All right, there he is, Scott Grayson on the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline. I'm going to call Michael Pileggi. You got to, if you win this week, you'll be 5 for 5. I'm getting you a Maserati to ride around in.
There you go, just one day.
Just one day, so people can think like, oh, Grayson, look at you stepping up. The parishioners will be like,
pulling up in a Maserati.
You're going to need to step up your offering in the plate. Yeah,
He's passing that pew plate around.
That's right.
All right, Scotty, thank you. Let's go, Birds. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you got it, guys. Have a good one.
There he is, Scott Grayson on the Maserati for the Mainline.
Can you imagine? He pulls into church with the new Maserati, and they're like, "I'm gonna think, hey, that little piddly $1 in the offering thing, $1 a week. They call it tithing. You're gonna need a stronger tithe."
Hey, the locker room at Blitz's Market want to discount your Eagles game day meal.
$5
during the Eagles season on game day, which is today. Get down to Blitz's for a $5 Italian hoagie when you mention the locker room. Get down to Blitz's all season long at 21st and Asbury Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or call them at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home of the dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. And by the way, the first hour of the locker room is powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services for home buyers and sellers, real estate agents, brokers, lenders, home builders, developers, and attorneys to facilitate your real estate purchases. Surety is an industry-wide leader with a team of experts to help you through the entire process, from contract signing to closing, from the shortest center city and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you. With 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA, that's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the Mainline, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations and invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the Mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the Mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the Mainline, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. Now, I know, Pete, I had a brain cramp and I couldn't think of Baker Mayfield. You thought that was pretty funny.
No, I like it.
That happens from time to time.
It's totally
not struggling.
fine.
I just couldn't think of it.
I have that same thing happen to me. I was talking to you about all the quarterbacks that the Eagles had played, and I couldn't remember the names. And then, like Ron Burgundy, now I can rattle off Dak Prescott, Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert. They beat the bleep out of the Eagles. Then you had Teddy Bridgewater, Trevor Siemian, Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, Garrett Gilbert, and Jake Fromm. You tell me, in those last 6 straight games, which of those quarterbacks scared you? And the answer was none.
All right, when we return, we'll get into a little bit of some John Madden clips.
Yeah, that'll be
on the other side. I hope I don't start crying on this program.
You probably will.
All right, when we return, it's the Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson. Hey, big news, Pete. Starting this Saturday and for 7 weeks in a row, we're going to be broadcasting live. The locker room is going to be broadcasting live at the Hollywood Cafe in Woodbury Heights, New Jersey.
Wait a second here.
Come on down. Come on down, and we're going to have prizes to give away from Total Sports Images and Fan Treasures.
You didn't put the full name in. It's the Hollywood Cafe and Sports Bar. Yeah, man.
What did I say? Hollywood Cafe.
Yeah, but I want the word bar in there.
That's right.
That connotates a whole different distance.
Brad Quasson, I'll be down there.
940 Mantua Pike, Woodbury Heights, New Jersey.
Yeah, pulled in the parking lot. They got our signal nice and strong there.
Nice. That's always a plus.
That's a plus. Well, hey, we cover almost all of South Jersey.
Sure. Let's see here.
And Woodbury, the Hollywood Cafe, man, they got a million TVs. Yeah. They've got big, huge TVs everywhere. Great sight lines. Three bars in the main room. It's a pretty cool hangout, man.
Yeah, I bet your eyes were wide open.
And guess what? The best part of it, the food is phenomenal.
Billy, this is the closest you are ever going to come to Tinseltown. So you better embrace it. The Hollywood Sports Bar and Cafe.
I remember the locker room in Blitz's Market would discount your Eagles game day meal during the season. On game day, get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Get down to the Blitz's Market all season long at 21st and Asbury in Ocean City, New Jersey. They have online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com or give them a call at 609-399-9983. I want to open up the text board, 609-403-0973 for your comments, predictions, suggestions, anything you want to talk about, chime in on the show. We love hearing from you, 609-403-0973, Pete.
Yeah, there's already a text on there, Billy. It's from our man, Joey D.
Joe's the best, man.
Who always is listening, and we're a big fan
of Joe.
He's a fan of us. Well, we're a fan of him, right? We're thankful that he texts in all the time and reaches out even before we give out the number. Hi guys, happy new year. I'm very happy how the Birds have hung in there and turned their season around. Are you worried about the fight in the Washington football team? Oops, my bad. No fight on that field. Cowgirls put a 56 spot on them. No, them idiots fight each other on the sidelines. Eagles win big today. And he put a message in there to me that says, come on, PT, fire up that Eagles fight song. It's coming.
So listen, Pete, there's two schools of thought on this. The fight, remember, the two guys that fought were teammates in Alabama. So it's not like they don't like each other. They have a history. That could go either way. That fight could say we have fight left, or it could say we're dysfunctional and we're fragmenting.
Mm-hmm.
What camp are you in?
The one that they're dysfunctional and fragmenting.
I don't think so.
I'm sorry. Well, of course you don't. But I look at it like, that when you're getting to the point where you're physically assaulting another teammate on the sidelines, actually striking another teammate and getting words, and you could see visually, Billy, this is what all the guy did.
He pointed him, and he poked him in his head.
He put his finger up and kind of poked at him, and that was it. Then the fuse was lit. Right now, the fuse had been lit long before that. Then the firecracker went off.
And now about the Cowboys running up the score. I mean, do you have any problem with that, Pete? See, I don't.
No, not really. I mean, play better, and
right.
Look, this isn't the old days where you threw ice balls at Jimmy Johnson or poured a beer on his head as he ran off, or Buddy Ryan had Randall fake the knee and then he threw the touchdown. Like it's right. It's 2022 now. Boy, it's 20. I'm gonna have to. You still write checks?
Yeah,
Billy, it's 2022.
Yeah, right. Send you Venmo every week.
Oh man,
right, listen.
Yeah,
iconic coach.
Speaking of checks in the 80s,
yes, iconic coach John Madden. When I think of John Madden, I think of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's a big
what I mean.
One.
I mean, I think of the Super Bowl, but I think of Thanksgiving more than anything else, because when the turkey was always cooking there, the turducken, John Madden always sounded like he was like around the dinner table.
How about the numbers on that? The guy said like we used to sell about 250 of these turduckens. John Madden talked about it, made it the official bird of Thanksgiving for the sports on the TV, and all of a sudden they sold like 5,000. Yeah, I've had duck before.
It's very greasy,
but I haven't. I mean, yeah, I've had duck with duck à l'orange or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but nevertheless, John Madden had a way of, like Gene Hart had a way of communicating with the fan, the listener.
Yeah,
explaining the game without condescending.
And Madden's gift was he
He was a regular guy.
He was as real could get, and his comments and things that he would make would be things that you would just be watching, and he'd say something, and you saw the memorial clips. Like one of them was about the Gatorade and the mommy Gatorade and the daddy Gatorade. Now this is the baby Gatorade, and he's got to ride.
My favorite one is Nate Newton's head steaming up. And that's a good one too.
Now I had forgotten that Madden was on the call for Barry Switzer's big gaffe. And
yes.
Since you read the paper,
the fourth and one.
I'm sure that you saw Sealski's column.
Yes, I did.
About the fact that Madden sort of like in today's world in analytics, maybe Madden was actually wrong. But we have some stuff teed up here of Madden calls. I think the first one. Now you have no problem with this, but I'm blonde, so I have fair hair. Growing a beard. I think this is the Troy Aikman thing. If it starts off here, I'll start playing this. Hang on, let me put this up. There we go.
But he's using a telestrator.
Yeah. 29.
Jeez. Boom. So 16 Emmys.
Let's see what we got here. That might have been the first time that might have been the first football game, Billy, that they had a flyover in. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
So maybe nobody told Madden, like, God, don't tell John Madden about a plane, right? And they're flying in perfect formation. I got it up on the screen here.
To me, Madden reminds me of coaches that I've had throughout my my childhood growing up, participating in sports. I've had some great coaches, and they all had it. You know what I mean? Great coaches have a way of motivating you through
and making it relatable and putting it in terms that you can understand. Listen, that's one thing I want to clear up too. John Madden was not afraid to fly. Okay, he was not afraid to fly. He was claustrophobic. Right. He did not like small spaces. Let's see what he's saying here. Think about who he's talking about there. You can't even see the screen. Think about who he's talking about there.
Gruden?
No, he's talking about Bill Belichick, 38-year-old Bill Belichick.
Right.
And what's ironic is,
though, right?
What's ironic is this is that looks like the Jets and the Niners.
So here's Sealski's article right here, and I'll never forget that 4th and 1. Not once we stuffed the Cowboys, but twice, and Madden went nuts on that one.
He did. Here's one of your favorites too, by the way. Let me give this up here. That's Randy Moss.
Yeah. Two old heads. See, I mean,
this is my favorite. That's in the Super Bowl. That's in the Super Bowl. And CBS, that was at CBS still with the telestrator. And at that point, somebody in the truck was smart enough to actually put up on the Chiron or on the graphic, CBS Sports Bucket Illustrator. Is that great?
That's real stuff.
I mean,
man.
and Billy, you're talking about relatable too. Let me just close with this. The Tom Rinaldi did the special, right? But he couldn't have done it without Sandy Montag, who was his agent, without the guys like Richie Scions, right? Without all the guys that were in the truck, all the people that basically supported Coach. Willie Yarbrough, the driver, for God's sakes.
Right.
They interviewed everybody, and it really touched me that Madden was able to see that special, watch it with his family on Christmas Day,
right.
and sort of have a coda or an end cap to his life. I mean, wow.
And I don't know how he didn't like, I thought I could never sit there and watch that without being total tears.
They didn't. Well, here's the thing. When they showed him in the special,
looked emotional, but
they only showed him like 5 or 6 clips. Like they didn't run, like they made it look like they were running the whole thing for him.
Right.
But then, as you heard from like Bob Costas, you heard from Melissa Stark, that he did watch it with his family. They just didn't have a camera running.
All right. The first hour of the locker was powered by Surety Title. Surety provides comprehensive title insurance protection and professional settlement services from the shore to Center City and every place in between. Surety Title is there for you with 15 office locations in New Jersey and PA. That's Surety Title. For more information, call my good friend Ron Conklin at 856-988-8900. Just about everybody in our area has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. Were you aware of their private business network they call the Legacy Club? Every month, they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia and South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to ken@jerseymanmagazine.com or give Ken a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. When we return, we'll wrap up the first hour of the locker room with Billy Schweim and Pete Thompson right here, 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here. First hour's in the books.
Somebody over here doesn't know how to produce.
That's right. Hour two. Hour two.
Man, we were talking about Madden. Sorry.
No, well, it's hard to pull away from Madden. It's hard to pull away.
He's so captivating. It's like this show. So captivating.
609-403-0973 is the text board. Give us some text. Participate in the show. Hour one in the books. Hour two ahead, we have the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. And then we'll be talking to Brad Quast, who's heading down to Baltimore. He's working the Baltimore game today.
Nice. Looking forward to that.
That's a big game for the Ravens. It's a must-win for them.
Sure is.
It's the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app. It's Eagles Sunday. We're getting you pumped up for Eagles Washington football team at 1 o'clock. Agles. All right, we're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. We're getting ready for Eagles football. We'll take you there at the 12 noon, and then you get the Eagles pregame show, the official pregame show, and then Mike and Merle with the call, Pete, at 1 o'clock.
Can't wait. Huge game. Can't wait. Totally down for it. Ready for it. Bring it on. Let's do it.
The Pete's at a 3-point stand already.
I am fired up as much as I can be. Dan from EHT texted in on the text message board, 609-403-0973, said, after seeing that speech Kelsey did, I'm getting my Kelsey jersey ASAP.
As soon as the show's over.
That guy is the definition of Philly sports. Yeah.
Jason Kelsey, he is appearing in his 158th career NFL game, tying Guy Morris for third place.
Oh, I remember Guy Morris.
Third most games played by an O-line player in team history. He's at 121 consecutive games.
I mean, the guy definitely was undersized. He definitely was a guy that, did not have a lot of attention, both to get into college and then to get into the pros. And all he's done, Billy, is win. All he's done is win,
I can't wait
win,
to see the speech. You made that. You talked about it. Dan chimed in with it from EHT. I can't wait to see it. That's we've talked about this several times, Pete. The 93 team, Phillies team had Macho Rowe.
Mm-hmm.
The Flyers teams in the past that had like Dave Pullen and Tockett and quality character guys in the locker room. You've had this Eagles team with Jason Kelsey, Cox. I mean, the 2017 Super Bowl team had some quality guys in it. It's essential for a team to win. You just can't rely on the coaching staff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can put a measure on that. That 2017 team also had Malcolm Jenkins, right? I mean, that was a guy that was a good locker room guy to fire up the defensive side of the thing. Yeah, that's correct. Yes, because when Chris Long was sitting next to number 91 Fletcher, yes, it was Long blank. Yes.
Right.
I remember that
Only
distinctly. Well, of course. I mean,
didn't even cross my mind. I can see where you are.
I'm 50 going on 15. Here's who we have today on the TV side of things. Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. Stinky is going to be the analyst, and then Shannon Spake is your sideline person. So I don't know about you, but when I do not care for I did not, Jonathan Vilma
I'm not a big fan of his.
Just shut up, man. Come on, but I like this crew. Amin is very serviceable, and I think Schlereth is really good. So I'll probably watch it on the television, although often what I do is I try to match up our station because now you can rewind and fast forward, so I try to match up Mike and Merrill on 97.3 on the app. That's, I try to do that a lot, quite frankly. It's the way I'd rather watch the game.
609-403-0973 is the text board number. Send us a text, chime in on the show, give us your opinion on the Eagles and make any comments you might have. You can read over the air. Grace.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Make any comments you might have. Keep them clean.
Listen, Grayson alluded to this, and talk about Jalen Hurts' injured ankle.
Yeah.
It might refrain him from running, and he might have to work on another part of his game that, that he the throwing aspect of it, or in the back of his head, he knows that he doesn't want to take a chance running. He could damage his ankle further. Last week, 17 for 29 for 199 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 102.5 passer rating, Pete.
So here's what you have.
Maybe the hurt ankle might take him to look at quarterbacking from a different perspective.
Right. Hurts might not be that hurt, or Hurts is trying to get over his
hurt. Hurts is hurt, and he's going to have to rely on a better quarterbacking instinct, if you will.
I look at it like this.
Okay? Not pulling the ball down and running immediately.
The numbers speak for themselves. He missed the Jets game. That was December 5th. Since then, he's run for 45 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's completed 37 of 54 passes for 495 yards and 3 touchdowns as they've won 3 in a row. They're 8-7. They're on the verge of the playoffs for the first time since 2019. And Hurts says the Eagles haven't played their best game yet. Now, Nick Sirianni also says we haven't played our best game yet because his quote was, quote, "We know we can get better. There's always something. You never play a flawless game, ever. You're always striving to be better." Well, guess what, Billy? I hope that they're better today, right? If Hurts feels like he hasn't played his best game yet, remember that time when they went to the Washington football team to open the season with Chip Kelly, of all people?
Was that when Michael Vick's first
had the record first half?
Yeah.
How awesome would it be today when they need the win to just see him come out and blow the damn doors off the Washington football team? And by the way, my father will be there, my sister will be there, my two nephews.
They're going down to what? They're going down
My
to
sister lives in Annapolis, so my dad drove down yesterday, stayed overnight, and then they're going in, and they're going to be sitting in, I think it's section 125.
I'll tell you what, Pete. I mean, obviously with the running back situation, with Howard is questionable, I guess, right? We'll find out that
22 minutes till the inactives come out.
Miles Sanders out, and you got Boston Scott and Gainwell are going to be your two primary backs.
Well,
does that mean Devontae Smith, when he said during the week that we're going to have to change, not do the things that we did the first game against the Washington football team? Is that an indication that they're going to, like, you remember they came out and started throwing the ball against the Giants, right?
Yeah, that's why Grayson was so frustrated, and rightfully so. Like, look, go with what works. And listen, you brought up Boston Scott. He was like an afterthought through the Eagles' first 6 games. Nobody remembered about him. But if Miles Sanders didn't injure his ankle in week 7 and Scott started getting those carries, he wouldn't be in there. And then look at where Boston Scott is now. I mean, that's huge. The one I want to get your take on, since we're talking about guys who have like been afterthoughts and now they're coming on, is Jalen Reagor. Like, where do you stand on him? Because I got to tell you,
I'm still very disappointed
when
in
he
him.
dropped the touchdown passes against the Giants,
right.
I would have driven to the NovaCare complex, said, "Hey, you need a ride?" and drove him right to Philly International. But, look, he had a big punt return, a 39-yard punt return.
Which the first one he's done in 2 years.
He had he's been better at receiver. In his last 4 games, do you know that Jalen Reagor has 8 catches for 110 yards? Now, to me, 8 catches for 110, that's what a good receiver should have in 1 game.
Right.
It's taken him 4 games, but at least he's not completely bleeping the bed, for lack of a better way to describe it.
And that, that could be a tribute to Jalen Hurts spreading the ball around a little bit better.
And Devontae Smith coming on.
There have been several times now, the first 3 games that I attended were all losses. I can't tell you how many.
Fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. But there were people that were open that Hurts missed. I mean, Dallas Goedert was wide open last week
I'm
in
glad
the corner
you
of the end zone,
that. Yeah.
and he missed them.
When you were talking linebackers earlier too, did you mention Alex Singleton? Because
this guy, don't get excited about that interception. He's got 2 of those. I'm still not high on him, man.
Billy, when he and Eric Wilson got replaced throughout the season, you thought that Wilson got outright released. I mean, he got DFA'd basically.
Right.
Singleton was only in there barely, but once Davion Taylor went down, they had no choice. So Singleton went back to playing full time. You know what he did against the Giants? Did you look at his numbers?
No, I didn't. I don't even.
Yes, he had the interception, but 11 tackles, and he leads the Eagles this season with 129 tackles.
Yeah, but 3/4 of those tackles are like 10 yards down the field, Pete.
Okay.
TJ Edwards is the linebacker
it's still not a touchdown.
TJ Edwards is the linebacker that's been playing.
I get that you need.
They just gave him an extension too, by the way.
All right, say it with me. Will, Mike, Sam.
Right.
Go ahead.
Will, Mike, Sam.
What are those positions?
Well, the Mike is the middle linebacker.
Okay. The Will is the
left,
and the Sam is the
right.
How many linebackers is that?
That's 3.
So you're on the TJ Edwards bandwagon here, cheerleading TJ,
rah.
You need 3 of them.
I know, but guess what? He's been playing in the last 8 games. He's been playing a lot better and has led the linebacker corps. You're giving me statistics for Alex Singleton with all the tackles, but they're insignificant to me because they're halfway down the field.
Fine,
He still doesn't. He doesn't look for the Eagles to play better. Now I know I gave you the stat. The Eagles have only allowed 18 or fewer points.
You gave that to Scott Grayson.
Right. And you were here too. So
I was listening, sort of.
But look, that's against the teams they've been playing lately.
It helps that they're playing the bad teams.
Right.
But look, there's
a deficiency there in linebackers.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Would I want Micah Parsons to be on this team? Hell yeah.
that kid from Georgia, Nicola or whatever.
That's your guy?
Well, I mean, we need somebody like that.
You're already drooling. That's who you want?
No, I've been seeing his name posted all over the place.
So therefore, he must be good.
Yeah, no, I watched the play the other day.
You know, remember at one point when we thought the quarterback was the wrong quarterback, everybody was all fired up because Howie went and saw the Pickett kid play at Pitt. Remember that?
Right.
So I had a friend of mine who went to the Peach Bowl. Okay. So he texted me a picture and I go, did you go to Pitt? And he's like, no. He's like, somebody else did, but we stopped here on the way back from Florida. I go, oh, okay, have fun. I go, at least you get to see the Pickett kid. No, you don't. He didn't play.
He didn't play.
You know?
A lot of these guys are opting out.
I know.
Playing. How about the kid from the quarterback from Ole Miss last night? He says, no, I'm not opting out. He's going to be a first-round pick or high second-round pick. He says, I'm playing. I'm not letting my team down. What happens?
He gets hurt.
He gets hurt.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing. Pickett didn't play, and then the backup quarterback got hurt, and then Pitt had no chance.
Yeah. Look, the defense, I think that since Jalen Hurts, to me, gets another year, and
absolutely.
I think the Eagles.
Although, did you see Adam Schefter's tweet this morning, or the story that's up on the mothership on ESPN.com about the fact that one of them has to go? It's either going to be Russell Wilson or Pete Carroll. If the Seahawks decide that they're going to keep Pete Carroll and move on from Russell Wilson, would you want Russell Wilson to be your starting quarterback now?
I don't know, man. How old is he? What's Wilson, 33?
But that has to give you pause, doesn't it?
It does give you pause. I don't know. I see. No, the Eagles are trending up.
Russell Wilson is 33 years old.
Right. He's trending up. Hurts is trending up with his team.
Yeah, but how about Russell Wilson behind the Eagles' offensive line?
Yeah.
A good offensive line.
Kelsey coming back next year?
Who knows?
Hey, Mulata, he's should be an all rookie team, right?
And Lane Johnson?
He's all pissed off because he got bypassed. Well, he missed 3 games.
Missed 4, I think.
4. Was it 4 games?
Yeah.
He can't miss 4 games.
I guess. I mean, he missed 4 games for a very good reason. Not a Ben Simmons reason, a legitimate reason.
But you know what Brad Quast says? You got to be on the field, man. You got to have availability.
You can't make the club from the top.
Can't make the club from the top. All right, the second out of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course, enjoy fine dining, or experience lively atmosphere in the pub. And the food is phenomenal. There's always a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. When you get down there, say hello to Radio Ron Ralston for us. Ron's a great guy, and he does a great job down there. My Winter Watchdog.
Oh.
Have you heard of New Jersey's premier vacant home management service, My Winter Watchdog? You know those worrisome thoughts that creep into your mind every time you hear of a storm coming and the daunting task of driving down to the shore to check on the house, hours of time on the road? Let My Winter Watchdog be your eyes and ears with their 15-point inspection checklist. They offer a full menu of maintenance and improvement services. Owner Debbie McGonigal and her team of property caretakers are professional, licensed, bonded, and insured. So don't let the winter worry you. They'll give your house that lived-in look. That's My Winter Watchdog. Go to mywinterwatchdog.com or give them a call at 267-202-1869. That's 267-202-1869. Or send Debbie an email, debbie@mywinterwatchdog.com. All right, when we return, it's the fantasy football guru, Brian Hartley. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN. We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. And this time of our show on Sunday, we go to the fantasy football guru, Brian Hardy. Now, PT, man, he's out of one leg, so I guess he's given up. He's going to take the kids to see Sing 2.
He's not giving up. Hartley, how you doing?
Hold on.
Guys. Yeah,
Hold
this
on.
is how I pregame. This is how I get ready for the big day. I take the kids to see Sing 2 first thing in the morning. Get my pregame juices going.
Pete jumped the gun. The fantasy football guru is brought to you by Stella Exteriors. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room my fantasy football guru and yours, Brian Hartley. Good morning,
What's
Brian.
Up, guys? Good morning and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Now, Hartley, I wanted to start breaking your stones a little bit. You got eliminated out of one of your leagues, and so what, are you just giving up and going to see Sing 2?
I wish. I'm not giving up. I'm playing for second place in my other league. But yeah, last week I kind of got bit by the COVID bug. I had 3 starters that were out, and in my semifinal league, and I needed Alvin Kamara to have 10 points, and he couldn't do anything in that Monday night game. It was really disappointing. I stayed up to watch the whole thing, and couldn't sleep that night because I was so aggravated. And I used some other words that aren't good for radio. But yeah, I was not a happy man. You know, I had the best team all season, I felt. And to have that happen at the end and dealing with the COVID bug, which everyone else is dealing with.
Well, I'm going to recuse myself because Pete Thompson. Let's get him. Let's give him his due. He's going to brag a little bit. He can run this segment now because he's the fantasy football guru.
I don't know about that.
Well, you know, Pete has been getting some good advice during the week too. So, you know, let's not give Pete all the credit.
He's right. I mean, he's 100%
kicked my
right.
butt 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, because I listened to Hartley, man. Hartley knows what to do.
You know, that Miami defense, that was key on Monday night there against New Orleans, and I think that helped push him along, and he's got a big game today. We've been discussing some things, so hopefully Pete comes out with a win today and it's the champion.
Yeah, but Guru, did you know that Ian Book was going to be like so inept? I mean, he looked like he was
it was
a
great.
deer in headlights.
It was great.
Listen, anytime you're going against a quarterback like that, you play the defense, and Miami's defense is no slouch. So, you know, it's a big game, but would I have predicted on the first offensive play that he'd throw a pick 6? No, I wouldn't have picked that. But, you know, hey, it worked out and made me look like a genius.
Hey, Pete, how high did you jump out of your seat when you saw that?
I mean, look, it was like, I think I was winning by a point, or no, I'm sorry, I was losing like really low score too. It was like 88 to 87 or 86 to 85 going into the Monday night game. So really, I mean, somebody on the defense would have had to break their leg for me not to, you know what I mean? Like I was going to win. All the projections said I was going to win, but Billy, I was thrilled. And you know, that's why we have Hartley on each and every week, because like this is championship Sunday for a lot of people, and I need his advice.
All right, fantasy football guru Brian Hartley. With that, let's get your picks for week 17 in the NFL.
All right, today quarterback, I like Matthew Stafford going against Baltimore. I like Russell Wilson coming out today going against Detroit. I think he's going to have a big game today. And Ben Roethlisberger going against Cleveland, which could be his last home game there in Pittsburgh. I think he's going to put up some big numbers. Ronald Jones against the New York Jets. Damian Harris against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Darrell Williams filling in for Clyde Edwards-Helaire today against Cincy. And I kind of like Boston Scott today, even though Jordan Howard is going to play. I like Boston Scott, and I think he's going to find the end zone. At wide receiver, Amon St. Brown against Seattle, who's been playing unbelievably. OBJ going against Baltimore. Gabriel Davis back for Buffalo going against Atlanta. And Brandon Cooks returning off that COVID list going against San Francisco's D today, who gives it up in the air, not so much on the ground. Those are my picks for week 17 in the NFL season.
And I hope Pete takes your advice because he's guaranteed to win some good money in his one leg, and we're pulling for PT.
Yeah, we're definitely all pulling for PT. He said he's going to take us all out to lunch if he wins.
That's right. Steak dinner for everybody. Hartley, you want me to just like I mean, I told you I switched out Antonio Gibson, but But like I had Rashad Penny in the lineup at one point. I got Jamar Chase, Odell Beckham, Gesicki, Devontae Smith, Tucker. The only question was whether I took the Rams defense or should I go back to the Dolphins defense again. Let me just specifically ask you on that one. Which one would you be more comfortable with?
Today, I definitely like the Rams defense. No Lamar Jackson. I think that's a good matchup for them. Miami's defense, they're not bad, but I think they had a great matchup last week. Yeah, going against Tennessee, I definitely like the Rams defense today.
And because Gibson couldn't play, I have to throw Melvin Gordon back in. I have no idea. I mean, I guess the Chargers have one of the worst run defenses out there, right? So maybe that's not an awful thing.
Yeah, and you got to think of it this way. It's kind of like a little bit of a revenge game. They already had it earlier in the season, a decent game, but he's going against his old team, and I think they're going to feed him the ball. It's always a coin toss, though, with those guys. Him and Williams, they run the ball so well together. So it's difficult to say who's going to have the better game, but I like Gordon today.
We saw it was snowing up in Buffalo. Josh Allen has been my meal ticket all year. If it's snowing, he might not be able to throw the ball.
Nah, he'll be fine. They're used to that weather. Josh Allen, you know what? Even if he's not throwing the ball, he's running the ball well as well. He's got a lot of his weapons back today who were out last week injured. But I think you're fine. You ride your top players. You don't second guess yourself going in the championship game. These are the guys that got you there, and you ride them all the way through the end.
I got that Beckham in there again there, Hartley. Now, this isn't because you told me to put him in. I basically, it's like a war of attrition. I really got no other better choice. So I'm like, all right, Beckham, back in you go.
That's okay. Again, I like that matchup today. Matthew Stafford, I think, is going to have a nice game. That Rams or that Baltimore defense, a little banged up in the secondary. They are getting some guys back. But I think it's a good matchup for him today. A lot of places have him as the start of the week at the quarterback position.
Ooh, I like to hear that. All right. Well, cross your fingers for me, Hartley.
The guru, Brian Hartley, with his report from the movie theater. When you out there telling the kids you're getting popcorn?
Yeah, listen, I think I'm missing like the key part here. They're trying to convince Clay Calloway to get in their play here. So,
I took my daughter to see it on Wednesday. It was a really good movie, I thought.
It is a really good one. It's so funny to watch the kids' voices and hear them laughing. So it's a great time.
All right, listen, Guru, last week, everybody took the Eagles against the Giants last week. You had them going 30-17, winning 30-17. This week, Grayson has them at 34-10. Mike Carlin, he's 31-17. What do you think about the Eagles versus the Washington football team today?
Yeah, I got the Eagles today 27-17.
Ooh, that's so close to mine. Okay, very good.
Guru, they win 2017. This team looks like it's going to should be making the playoffs. They win today, almost all but solidify a spot. Are you excited about that?
I am excited about it. However, we have that dreaded Dallas game next week, that I was really hoping would mean something for someone. And we could close out the season, the regular season at least, which could be our last game, with the link for the year, barring something if they make the playoffs and something happens. But, I would hate for that game to not mean something. And we see a lot of backups. So I don't know. I want the Eagles to make the playoffs, but I want that last game to be rocking and to be worth something for somebody. Maybe it won't mean anything for the Eagles. Maybe they'll be in. Maybe Dallas will still have to play for a higher position, and we'll be able to go in and, take some of their guys out and just knock them down a notch.
That'd be great.
There he is, the fantasy football guru, Brian. Hartley, Brian, as always, we appreciate your effort today.
Thanks, guys, and I'm going back in to catch the ending. We'll see what happens.
See you, Hartley. Take care.
There he is, Brian Hartley, the fantasy football guru, brought to you by Stella
so
Exteriors. Great. They've been providing professional roofing and siding at affordable prices since 1996. Did you know that only 2% of roofing contractors qualify as a GAF Master Elite installer? So if you do the math, choosing Stella Exteriors takes 98% of the worry out. That's Stella Exteriors, 636 West Avenue in Ocean City, New Jersey. Give them a call at 609-399-1010. That's 609-399-1010. The second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay is an award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. You can play on their 18-hole championship golf course. Enjoy fine dining experience, lively atmosphere in the pub. There's a full calendar of golf and social events throughout the season to appeal to everyone. It's a great place to have a wedding. And for more information on how to become a member or to schedule your wedding, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5400. 5071. That's the Great Bay Country Club in Somers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great Bay. Friends, let me tell you about Maserati, the main line, located just minutes from downtown Philadelphia. They offer a client-focused car buying experience designed to exceed all expectations. They invite you to stop and see the area's largest selection of new Maseratis, including the sporty Ghibli midsize sedan or the class-leading Levante, the only SUV worthy of being called a Maserati. Maserati, the mainline, also leads the nation in certified pre-owned sales and has the highest quality like new Maseratis available on the market. Your experience does not end at the point of a sale, as Maserati, the mainline, offers free pickup and delivery for scheduled service appointments and provides a new Maserati loaner car. So be audacious. Call my good friend Michael Pileggi at Maserati, the mainline, at 484-804-4800. That's 484-804-4800, or visit them online anytime at motml.com. When we return, we'll go down to Baltimore and talk to our good buddy Brad Quast. You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson on 97.3 ESPN and the mobile app. Here in the locker room, Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. Eagles game day. The Eagles against the Washington football team. We'll take you right up to 12 o'clock for the official Eagles pregame show. And then, of course, Mike and Merle with the call right here on 97.3 ESPN. And I'll tell you what, every Sunday we have Brad Quast with us, and we love it. And today he's on his way he's in Baltimore today, working the game down there. Let's go to the Maserati, the Mainline Sports Hotline, and welcome into the locker room our own Brad Quast. What's up, Brad?
Happy New Year, fellas. Happy New Year, Billy and Pete.
Hey, what happened to your Iowa team last night, man?
They listen, I was torn though. I was telling Pete, so I'm a Hawkeye at heart, but my roommate Mark Stoops coaches at Kentucky. So I was in his wedding, he was in my wedding, and I was kind of torn in between that, but I really wanted the Hawkeyes to pull one out, but Mark had a nice win there, so I'm happy for him. 10 wins on the year for him.
Yeah, that Kentucky team really surprised. They played well this year, and of course the SEC had a few teams now winning their bowl games. The SEC, that's the conference, man.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I look at.
I know you're a Big Ten guy.
Yeah, I know, but the Big Ten kind of struggles a little bit, with bowl games. I think they get to. They go home for a break and they come back and they get warm weather and they forget how to tackle and block. So,
hey, speaking of weddings, Q, you were at a black tie wedding affair on New Year's Eve. I saw the pictures, man. You guys look debonair.
Oh, look good, right?
You look pretty debonair, I must say.
Yeah. Joe Cooper, his daughter Jenna got married, and we had a great time. What a fabulous outing, and to usher the new year in. So we had a good time. Dressed up in the tux and dancing and had fun. So it was a good time.
Now, Q, I'm getting pumped up, man. We have some news here. We're going to be broadcasting live for the next 7 weeks, next 7 Saturdays at the Hollywood Cafe and Sports Bar. I'm pumped up about that.
Yeah, it should be fun. It's in Woodbury Heights on Route 45. Come down to my good friend Helena Ballas, and we're going to be down there doing live remote. So everybody from the shore to Mullica Hill, come down and join us. Should be a great time.
They've got great food, and the bar is spacious with a lot of TVs, and we'll be giving some items away.
We got some giveaways too, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have some giveaways. Yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We might even have some people coming down, some ex-Eagles signing some autographs. Of course, you're an ex-Eagle. You'll be there. Come meet Brad Quast. We'll be broadcasting live for the next 7 Saturdays, and then finish up with the Super Bowl Sunday the next day on February 13th, I believe, at the Hollywood Cafe and Sports Bar in Woodbury Heights. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Hey, I got to tell you, Odell Beckham has got the unbelievable hands. I'm here on the pregame on the field. The guys are warming up, and he's going in there catching one-hand grabs like from 40 yards out. It's amazing how good of hands he has.
So you're right down there on the sidelines right now in Baltimore, and you're like obviously you're checking the uniforms, making sure that everybody's in compliance with the rules of the NFL.
86 minutes before kickoff, and so they come out. Right now, kickers aren't out yet, but they'll come out in about 5 to 10 minutes, and I get to do my job and write them up fines if they don't have the right equipment on. So.
Now, Brad, most guys, they come out, they got the headphones on, right? They can't hear. There's no distraction. You get a chance to interact with any of these guys?
No, there's no interaction really before the game. They're kind of in their own zone. I'm just on their sidelines. And then my communication is with usually the equipment manager or one of the head trainers to give them. They really, I don't have any interaction currently with the players pregame. They're kind of in their thing. They don't want to talk to me.
Well, so this is a big game.
All have their head.
This is a big game for the Ravens. I mean, the Rams are 11-4, and they're pretty much locked in. They playing for a home field advantage, I guess. But Baltimore at 8-7, they've been slumping. And of course, there's no Lamar Jackson today.
Yeah, they've been slumping offensively and defense. They're banged up in the secondary. They're out 2 corners, and then obviously without Jackson playing is always a tough haul there on their third string quarterback. So they got to kind of run the ball and hopefully that the Rams here are kind of not packing it in, but kind of playing for the next week or to stay healthy, rest some of their starters. But it is a big win for the Ravens today.
No, I need the Rams to do a lot. I'm in my fantasy championship. I have
Okay.
Odell Beckham. I have the Rams defense. So I want it all out of those Rams today, Brad Quast.
Pete, I'll go whisper to Beckham and tell him to catch 3 touchdowns.
Well, you telling me that he's catching them one-handed. That makes me feel good to begin with. Hey, Billy's talking about inactives. You're talking about inactives in the Ravens and Rams game, but the Eagles inactives came out just as we were starting the segment, Brad. And the good news is Jordan Howard is not on that list. It's Reed Sinnett, Miles Sanders, Tay Gowan, Sean Bradley. He was in a car accident, the linebacker, and we talked with Scott Grayson in the first hour about that might affect special teams. Sean Bradley's not like a key linebacker guy as far as the starters go, but in special teams that could be an issue.
That's going to be a loss. That's going to be a loss, believe it or not.
LaRaven Clark, Jack Anderson, and then 95 Marlon Tuiasosopo. No, I'm kidding. However you say his last name. Sorry, that just blurted out. But let's see on the Washington side who their inactives are, Quast, and just your thoughts too about inactives at this point in the season and how that affects a football game.
Yeah, so basically what happens is when these guys they travel the whole team, and then you kind of know going into the week of if they're going to be inactive or not. But a lot of times it goes down to the wire for injuries, and right before they go see the doctor, medical staff, or the trainer to see if they're going to be able to play. And then you find out, going over the bus that you're inactive. So over to the stadium. So it is kind of, you get your all geeked up and hyped up, and also you're inactive in the game. It's kind of frustrating, but it's the way the league works now. So got to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm sure the Eagles are really upset that Garrett Gilbert is inactive. I mean, this is the Washington list. Garrett Gilbert's on there. Curtis Samuel's on there. Montez Sweat. I've been calling him Patient Zero, Quast, because he's the one that started all this. And, of course, Antonio Gibson, is already out because he went on that COVID list. So, I mean, look, the big news, I think, Brad, as we look at this game is, do either of the quarterbacks scare you? Heineke is now going to be back, but Heineke or Kyle Allen, it doesn't really, the Eagles have to do their job.
They got to do their job. I'm waiting every year with the talent that the Redskins have to kind of have that breakout year, and they just don't do it. And I don't know what it is or what the players think, or I know it's not coaching. They got a great coaching staff down there, but they don't play up to their capability, I think. And I'm just waiting for that one year, but I just hope it's not today.
Yeah.
We need to win for the Birds. We need the Eagles to win and continue, and a little help on the back end to hope our playoffs. But it's amazing. I was talking to Billy we went out the one night, and they wanted to call first year coach call for his head, and now they're praising him, and we're talking playoffs. So it's just the way the NFL works, and
it's a long season, man. It's a marathon.
It is a marathon.
All right, Q, listen, it's time for your all right. Q, it's time for your prediction. Give us your prediction. Scott Grayson from Fox 29 News said Eagles 34-10. The fantasy football guru said Eagles 27-17. What say you, Q, man?
Okay, my prediction is 34-17 Birds.
Wait a second. That's a different prediction than the one you emailed me the other day.
34. I changed my mind.
An adjustment.
I changed my mind on the prediction.
See, that's a good coach. Makes predictions.
He added 10 points. He had 24-17. Now he just added another 10.
He just read him a list.
The weather is so nice. The weather's so nice down here. It's like a spring day. So I think weather's not a factor. Usually playing, in 1st of January. And I think it should be a good game. So that's my prediction for the game.
There he is, that's Brad Quast. Q, man, right. Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you.
All right, guys,
we'll see you next week, next Saturday.
Happy New Year, listeners.
See you too. See you, Brad.
Right,
that's awesome.
I'll see Brad Quast. He'll be with me next week at the Hollywood Cafe and Sports Bar in Woodbury Heights. Come on down. We'll have giveaway items, and of course, the games will be on. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. He's like, I'm sitting there and he's getting ready to say it. And I go, oh yeah, that's right. He emailed me what his score prediction was. And he says 34-17. I'm thinking that's 10 more points than he had the last time.
The Q man on the Maserati, the main line, a sports hotline. How about this? The Chiefs, Andy Reid will coach his 400th game on Sunday.
Okay.
The only other coaches to reach that are Don Shula, 526.
Yeah.
George Hallis, 506. Bill Belichick.
Papa Bear, yeah.
Bill Belichick 474 and Tom Landry 454.
I got mad respect for Tom Landry. And we mentioned Dan Reeves in the first hour.
Yes.
I had respect for Dan Reeves. I thought Dan Reeves was a hell of a football coach who never won the big game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He
Hey,
was-
Marv Levy, unbelievable football coach who never won the big game.
How about Bud Grant?
Hell of a football coach. And he stood out in that freezing cold weather. He would have gone to the Winter Classic yesterday.
Oh, absolutely.
And he wouldn't have worn earmuffs.
All right. The second hour. By the way, let me remind people, because you got about an hour and 15 minutes to get down to Blitz's Market.
Yes.
Get your discount, your Eagles game day meal during the Eagles season. Go on game day. Get an Italian hoagie for just $5 when you mention the locker room. Go down, get in your car. If you just stop by 21st and Asbury Avenue, Ocean City, New Jersey, go say, hey, I heard on the locker room I get a $5 Italian hoagie when I mention the locker room. Blitz's now has online ordering at blitzesmarkets.com, or give them a call at 609-399-9983. Blitz's is home at a dill pickle hoagie. It's really a big deal. Hey, the second hour of the locker room is brought to you by the Great Bay Country Club, where it's not just golf, it's fun. Make Great Bay Country Club your club. Great Bay's award-winning private golf club where you are greeted by name. It's home of the 3-hour and 58-minute round. For more information on how to become a member, go to greatbay.com or give them a call at 609-927-5071. Great Bay Country Club in Summers Point, New Jersey. See why it's always a great day at Great. It's a beautiful venue for weddings, Pete.
Oh, yeah, very much
It's a
so.
very, very.
And Brad was talking about the wedding he was at.
Yeah.
I saw, you know my man Billy Vargas up in Philly, and
Yeah,
he's married to Sue Serio.
Yeah.
They went to the wedding of Casey McDonald, who used to be on Fox 29.
Yeah.
You know who she married?
She married the quarterback from the Georgia Bulldogs.
I thought she married Eric Hosmer, who plays for the Padres.
No. Well,
and he used to
guess
play
what?
for the Dodgers.
It's funny because they pulled into the Playland parking lot. She pulled in with I can't remember the guy's name, 3 years ago.
Okay, well,
When did they get married?
over the weekend.
Okay. Well, they probably broke up and she married Hosmer.
Right. That's who I believe
They
she
pulled up in
married.
they pulled up in a Maserati.
Padres, Eric Hosmer, and Casey McDonald's
How about
wedding
that?
day 4 days ago.
Yeah, how about that? Well, she showed up in the Playland parking lot with the quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Well, guess what? She didn't marry him. This just did.
This just did. Hey, just about everybody here has heard about the Jersey Man and Philly Man magazine run by ex-Philadelphia tight end Ken Dunnick. By the way, she was very attractive.
I'm aware of that part. I was waiting until you'd get to that.
It
All
was
right,
funny
keep reading over there. We got text to read on the other side. Hurry up.
Well, you were their private business network they call the Legacy Club. Every month they hold private events at upscale locations in Philadelphia, South Jersey to attract over 200 top business people. If you have an interest in attending one of these events and see it's a fit for your business, send an email to Ken at jerseymanmagazine.com or give him a call at 856-912-4007 for more information. You never know, see who you pulls into the Playland parking lot.
That's true. You never know. Look for Billy. He'll give you the Blitzes deal.
No, I won't. Scott Simpson's listening.
That's right.
All right, when we return, we'll wrap it up.
With
You ready
some
for
text
it?
messages.
Yes,
on
we'll
the
play.
text
We'll
message
we'll
board.
read some text messages. We'll have a little bit more fun left in this show.
Sounds good.
You're listening to The Locker Room with Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we're back here in the locker room. Billy Schweim, Pete Thompson, 97.3 ESPN. We got some text messages there, PT.
Oh, yeah, they're coming in fast and furious now. I'll start with this one. No name given, but hey, Billy, the Georgia QB was like 5 boyfriends ago. Thank you, sir.
Well,
Aaron Murray is who you were
awesome.
remembering. And again,
I wasn't really looking at him too much. I was looking at her.
I would imagine so. Here's a text message. Let's talk about Kelsey running down the field 30 yards and me doing the same. Lane Johnson late in his career leading Howard outside for one time and one time only. I'm about not going for Rodgers or Wilson and definitely not Watson. Grab those 3 picks. Let's be good for a long time and maybe great for a year or 3. That is an awesome text message right there. I wish that person had left their name. I won 3 championships in fantasy football by having Kupp and Taylor stay healthy all year. Yeah, no, if you had Cooper Kupp, you're winning. If you had both, I can't believe you didn't. How did you lose a game?
Right.
And then Dan from EHT says, I love that Kelsey in his speech mentioned Stoutland. Stoutland is the best hire in Eagles history. And yes, that to me was a huge thing. Like, I thought, I was on with Gil on, what would that
Friday.
be? Thursday? Thursday when he was out at Chickies and Pete's in Egg Harbor Township. And he had, Brian Baldinger was his guest for an hour. And I talked to Gil about how valuable I think Jeff Stoutland is and that they should give him a raise. And I loved later on that when Baldinger was with him, he also talked about Jeff Stoutland and whatever they're paying him. It's
all
not
right,
enough.
PT, give us your prediction. You got Grayson 34-10, Guru 27-17, the Q-Man 34-17. What say you?
Well, I look at it, Billy, like it's funny, too. I'm not adding points to my prediction. I feel like I have to stick with the prediction that I made on Gil's show. Yes, I understand the Eagles are favored 3.5. Yes, I understand the over-under's 45. I predicted 27-13, 27-13. So that would be under the number of 45. But I think the Eagles win. I do think Washington scores at least a touchdown. But I got the Birds winning this one, and I'm looking forward to it.
Carlin's got him going, 31-17?
Carlin has 31-27 Eagles. The only person there was
31-27. That's close.
I thought, 4 points. I thought there was somebody that picked the Washington football team, but maybe I was wrong.
Well, so I wait to the last minute after I talk to Grayson. I hear what you have to say. See what Mike Gill has to say.
He said 38-24 Eagles, and he said his offensive game ball was to Devontae Smith. We know he's 92 yards away from that record, and wearing he's wearing a Mike Quick t-shirt today. And Fletcher Cox, he says, is his defensive game ball.
I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think, and I got a feeling the Eagles. I don't know. They have these notoriously slow starts, right? Don't they have the slow starts?
Yeah, but you're scaring me that you're going to say they're going to lose.
I'm not going to do that.
Oh, geez.
But I don't see them. I got them going 23-13.
23-13.
And
they
score late. And they score late.
Right. Maybe they're down 13-7 at the half or something like that.
Maybe, but I think they get that last touchdown towards the end of the game to make it a 23-13 score. But I think the Eagles win this game, and I think we need the Vikings to lose tonight against the Packers, which is pretty good.
I don't know about you. Can you see that on the StreamYard?
Yes.
Right. That was the graphic that was put up on the television the other day.
Who needs to lose?
It had all these scenarios and all this stuff. And I liked what Sirianni said. Just win, baby. Just win.
The 49ers got Houston today. That's going to be, and they're at the 40. They're in San Francisco.
Here you go. Okay. The Saints 20-3 loss to the Dolphins, which also helped me in fantasy, increased the Eagles playoff chances to 68%. That's according to 538.com. It goes to 100% if the Eagles beat the Washington football team, the Vikings lose to the Packers, a win by the 49ers over the Texans. You need all those things to happen.
All right, PT.
I can't believe that's it, man.
How fast did that 2 hours go?
Can we have another hour, please?
I would love to have another hour. All right, we'll be at the Hollywood Cafe and Sports Bar next Saturday.
Nice.
Come down and check us out there. We got the Eagles pregame show coming up next. And then at 1:00, you got Mike and Merle with the call. Doesn't get any better than that.
Really doesn't.
Triple header today on ESPN.
Do you remember all the games?
Cowboys, Cards, Vikings, Packers.
That's right.
Big game tonight. Thanks for making the locker room part of your Sunday, because nothing could be finer than talking sports with the Schweiner. Happy New Year, Pete.
To you too, Billy.
Happy New Year, everybody out there. Have
Go
a safe day.
Birds.
Let's go, Birds. Get yourself in a 3-point stance, and hopefully we'll be in the playoffs when we talk to you next. Stay tuned for the Eagles pregame show right here on 97.3 ESPN. I'll see you next week, everybody.